Let's sit in a comfortable meditation posture and close the eyes. Put the attention on the silence that is always there deep in the mind. Connect with that deep inner silence. This is the silent witness. The silent witness that is always there. You are this silent witness. You are not the body and you're not the mind. Establish yourself as the silent witness. Become the silent witness. And listen to the words of the Yoga Vasishta. Book 5, Chapter 30, continuing with verse 23. After the burning of the demon hell city and the expansion of the demons, the infernal regions presented a void, waste, like at the last devastation of the world. After the Lord Narasimha had expelled the demon race, at the end of the demon age, he disappeared from view with the grateful greetings of the Council of Gods. The surviving sons of the demons who had fled from the burning of their city were afterwards led back to it by Prahlad. Just as migrating fowls are made to return to the dry lake bed by a rain shower. There they mourned the dead bodies of demons, lamented the loss of their possessions, and performed funeral ceremonies for their departed friends and relatives. After burning the dead bodies of their friends, they invited the few demons who had fled to safety to return to their deserted homes. The demons and their leaders continued to mourn with gloomy minds and disfigured bodies, like lotuses beaten down by the frost. They made no effort or attempt, like figures in a painting. They had no hope of resuscitation, like a tree struck by lightning. Chapter 31. Prahlad bemoans the demon's loss and praises Vishnu. Vasishta continued. Prahlad remained unhappy in his underground region, brooding over sad thoughts of the destruction of the Danava demons and their homes. Prahlad, thinking to himself, what is to become of us when this Vishnu is bent to destroy the best among us, like a monkey pulling out shoots and sprouts of trees? Nowhere on earth or in the infernal regions do I see any Daitya demons left to destroy their properties. They're all stunted in their growth, like lotuses growing on mountaintops. They rise only to fall, like the loud beating of a drum. Their rising and falling are like the waves of the sea. Sorrow to us who are so miserable in both our inner and outer circumstances. Happy are our enemies of light, the gods who have overcome us. Oh, the terror of darkness. Our friends of the dark infernal regions are all darkened in their souls with loss of courage. Their fortune is as transitory as the expansion of the lotus leaf by day and its contraction at night. We see the gods who were mean servants at the feet of our Father have surpassed his kingdom in the way timid deer usurp the sovereignty of the lion in the forest. We find our friends all disfigured and effortless, sitting melancholy and dejected in their hopelessness, like lotuses with their withered leaves by gusts of the wind, by day and night, and assembling the flames of fire which burnt them down. The inner apartments are laid open, without doors or enclosures, overgrown with sprouts of barley, shooting out as blades of sapphires from underneath the ground. There is nothing impossible to irresistible fate that has so reduced the mighty demons who used to pluck flowers from the mountaintops of Meru like big elephants. Now we have come to this sad condition of the wandering gods of the past. Our ladies cringe like frightened deer at the rustling of the breeze amidst the leaves of trees. They fear enemy arrows, whistling and hurling through the open air. Oh, the shining luncha blossoms that decorated our woman's ears are now shorn, torn, and left desolate by the hands of Vishnu. Like the lonesome plants of the desert, they have robbed us of the all-producing, wish-fulfilling kalpa trees and planted them in their Nandana pleasure gardens, now teeming with their shooting gems and green leaflets in the ethereal sphere. the eyes of haughty demons that formerly looked with pity on the faces of their captured gods are now indignantly looked upon by victorious gods who have made captives of them. It is known that the fluids pouring from the mouths of spouting elephants of heaven on the top of the mountains fall down in the form of cascades and gives rise to rivers on earth. But the foam that is sucked up in the dry and dreary desert of sand are as dry as dust at the sight of the gods. Ah, where have those Daicha demons fled, whose bodies were once as big as the peaks of Mount Meru and who were fanned by fragrant breezes, breathing with the scented dust of Mandara flowers. The beautiful ladies of the gods and Gandharvas, once kept as captives in the inner apartments of demons, are now snatched from us and placed on Meru, as if they were transplanted to grow there as heavenly plants. Oh, how painful it is to think that the fading graces of our captured girls are now mocked by heavenly Apsara nymphs in their disdainful dance over their defeat and disgrace. Oh, it is painful to think that the lady attendants who fanned my father are now waiting upon the thousand-eyed Indra in their servile toil. Oh, the greatness of our grief is our sad and distressing fall at the hands of a single Vishnu, who has reduced us to this state of helpless impotency. The gods resting under the thick and cooling shades of trees are as cool as the rocks of the icy Himalayas. They do not burn with rage or complaint in grief like we. The gods, protected by the powers of Vishnu, are raised to the height of prosperity. They mock and restrain us in these caves, as apes on trees do dogs below. The faces of our furies, though decked with ornaments, are now bedewed with drops of their tears, like lotus leaves with the cold dew of night. The old sage of this aged world, which was defeated and about to be pulled down by our might, is now supported upon the blue arms of Vishnu, like the roof of heaven standing upon the blue arches of the blue sky. Vishnu has become the support of the celestial host when it was about to be hurled into the depth of hell. Vishnu supported in the same manner as the great tortoise supported Mount Mandara as it churned and sank in the Milky Ocean. O great Father, our great Father, and these mighty demons under him have been laid down to dust like the lofty hills that were leveled to the ground by the blasts of heaven at the end of the Kalpa age. The leader of the celestial forces, the peerless destroyer of Vishnu, is unable to destroy all and everything by the fire in his hands. His elder brother, Indra, by the force of the thunderbolt, held by his mighty arms, battles and baffles, battle axes in the hands of the mighty demons, like big male monkeys, killing their male offspring. The lightning weapons of the lotus-eyed Vishnu are invincible, and there is no weapon which can foil the force of Indra's thunder. This Vishnu is invincible in warfare. He defeated our forefathers in previous battles, in which they uprooted and flung near rocks at him and sprayed many deceitful campaigns. He who stood victorious in those long, dreadful, and destructive wars of times past cannot be expected to be afraid of us. I have thought that there is only one way to oppose the rage of Vishnu, besides which I find no other way for our safety. Therefore, after all possible speed, let us go to him for help with full contriteness of our souls and understanding, because that God is the true refuge of the pious and the only resort of everybody. There is no one greater than he in all the three worlds. I have come to know that only Vishnu is the cause of the creation, preservation, and destruction or reproduction of the world. From this moment, therefore, I will think only of the unborn Narayana forevermore. I must rely on Narayana, who is present in all places and is full in myself and filling all space. Worship of Narayana forms my faith and profession for my success in all undertakings. May this faith of mine ever abide in my heart, as the wind has its place in the midst of empty air. Vishnu is to be known to fill all sides of space and vacuum and every part of this earth and all these worlds. My ego is the immeasurable spirit of Vishnu. My inborn soul is full of Vishnu. He who is not full with Vishnu in himself does not benefit by his adoration of Vishnu, but he who worships Vishnu by thinking himself as such finds himself assimilated with his God and becomes one with him. He who knows Vishnu to be the same with Prahlad and not different from him finds Vishnu to fill his inward soul with his spirit. Vishnu's Garuda eagle flies through the infinite space of the sky as the presence of Vishnu fills all infinity. His golden light of his body is the seat of my Vishnu also. The claws of his hand serve as Vishnu's weapons. The flash of his nails as the flash of Vishnu's weapons. Vishnu has 4 arms, wearing armlets representing the 4 shining heights of Mount Mandara, with which Vishnu churned the Milky Ocean. The moonlight figure with the flapper fan in her hand and rising from the depths of the Milky Ocean is the goddess of prosperity, Lakshmi, the consort of Vishnu. She is Vishnu's brilliant glory. Which he easily acquires. She is ever attendant on his person with undiminished luster. She illumines the 3 worlds like a radiant tree. Now let us continue established as the silent witness as we perform the Trimana Sanyama process on the esoteric Mahamantra. And in this process, we are worshiping Vishnu, who as Krishna is the supreme divine silent witness. And we balance all of our karmic traces that have been touched upon by today's reading. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Jai Gurudev.